By the way, Nomi was not stupid. Neither was Dave. Only two people that legitimately took me in. Well, Vinay did too, sort of, but he apparently wanted to enslave and kill me. So, theoretically, all three of them showed signs of that, but anyways. The thing that was most interesting about Dave's stay is he was clearly trying to attempt to use a very, very old school form of brainwash, which he had prepared. Bizarrely enough, there were a bunch of tapes on understanding Nazis and rock and roll from his age, disparately within each other. All of his other recordings were properly recorded based upon the interest into which they existed. Doctor Who was Doctor Who after Doctor Who after Doctor Who. Get Smart was Get Smart after Get Smart after Get Smart. But his Nazi and rock and roll library was mixed into itself. Kind of funny, but I mean, you're listening to all these rebellious rock and rollers, and then you're watching all these sort of formulative measures into which the Nazis were sort of rebelling, only we don't look at it like that because it was sadistically fucked up. Or this is a man with a Jewish mother who learned a circumstance into which might not be clear to the child at first, but is a heretically based sort of indoctrination of God. Now, at one time and place, these things were necessary because of how serious, the literal security to protect a theologically driven interconnection of thought was. But, we're living in modern America where the policies of security, tax, and stuff aren't a part of intertwining, our lessons in love. Whatever. I'm not going to get deeper into that. I'm sure there's plenty of people who would dissect me for that statement. But anyways, yeah, unfortunately it left him with a compelling interest and love for American conservatism, a sympathy for his ally, war hero, uncle, who also became a CIA agent, but ultimately a displacement as to here and how and why a Aryan sympathy also thus and therefore is wrong, I guess based on certain variables into which is brung into a heritage-based theological love with his creator. Don't ask me. That was a terrible thing to say, but ultimately you have to rationalize where we came from. And he was the perfect embodiment for how one could philosophically indulge in how one sort of creates these things. I know nothing. Everyone knows way more than me, I'm pretty sure. I'm intellectually down because I just watched a bunch of documentaries and such like that. I grasped a lot about a lot of variables into which World War II wasn't vocally, journalistically brought into perspective. But it just broke down how their military structure worked, essentially. And it continuously validated my sarcastic interest to create Hitler 2.0 against the South. Which again is still almost justified because to some degree they amplify and implore people to grasp the fact that we are Gentiles and we are not from this land, but don't really see the Native Americans making a comeback anytime soon, except for that into which was validated principally by our symbiotic readjustment to mold a modern European thought base of circumstantial structure into their relevational and checks and balances in a consistency to which had become technologically far more advanced off slavery, sort of, or authoritarianism, which to me is sort of like slavery. It's just not as direct as one thinks about it through what we did, what America did in the South with slaves. Oh God, these are ugly, ugly subjects. But anyways, so I tell people, do not think about what I'm thinking about. I think about these things so I can decompose people's bacteria within their justifications of where and how they still exist for principle thought that, again, I'm no well-bred intellectual in grasping or teaching or being a part of this. I never, get in the middle of putting myself out there as someone to either,